In this video, we look at buying a used home versus buying a new home. That's starting right now.
Welcome to Home Buyers School, brought to you by Brookfield Residential.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl Ye, and welcome to another Home Buyers School video, a channel where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and tips from home buying experts. And remember, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to get the latest strategies from the experts, make sure to hit the subscription button below, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. Today I'm joined by Corey McDonald, Community Manager with Brookfield Residential, and the topic we're going to discuss is, should I buy a new home or a used or resale home?
That's a great question. Yeah. Everybody's lifestyle is going to require something a little bit different. Me being from a builder, I would have a strong bias in buying brand new. But there are times when buying a resale or buying a resale home does fit needs better. Sometimes time frame is a big factor. Sometimes a resale home might accommodate a quicker timeline if you're moving brand new to the city, or you're being kicked out of your parents' house and you need to find something within the next month. Sometimes that might they might accommodate those needs a little bit better. Or older communities that you really wanted to try and be a part of, new builders might not be building in there, and which would require you to have to buy resale instead. I think there are a lot of benefits in buying a brand new build. Of course. The grossest one that I use would be you're not living with somebody else's toenails in your carpet, because it's your home. You get a little bit more specific customization to the colors that are used, to the materials that are used in the home, and you get to see the construction process from start to finish. So it's more your home instead of buying somebody else's likes. As far as repairs and warranty, there's a benefit because a lot of the newer homes are coming with a warranty, so that if there are any mistakes in the construction, or if there's anything that comes up after moving in, you're kind of secured and not having to dump a lot of extra money into getting repairs done, because your warranty covers a lot of those issues as well. The brand new builds are also following the latest in guidelines and code. So that's the latest building materials and the latest energy efficiency that you're typically getting with a brand new build. So
obviously, and you touched on that, right? So they're up to code, so you might not have to do additional renovations. But on the other side though, when we talk about location, sometimes there isn't a new community, right, that's being developed. So the builders maybe don't build infills, they build, in brand new communities, and it might be a little bit further away than where, let's say, you work or where you want to be, or how long the commute you want to take, right?
And that really depends too. A lot of cities in Canada now are trying to take that initiative to revamp older communities. So there is a stronger emphasis on infill projects. Now, again, based on finances, you're probably paying a little bit more to get closer to those inner cities or into those older communities, because they might have larger lots, as an example. So there are benefits in there, so you're paying a little bit more. But you're right, sometimes some of the newer builds, or more the price-sensitive builds, are being built a little bit further away from the downtown core. So
is price really the only factor determining new versus used? I guess maybe more what I'm saying is it cheaper to build to buy it used versus new? Or it depends?
It really depends. Yeah. It's impossible to predict market from day to day, which is why it's not a guarantee at all. But there is potentially an opportunity to get a little bit cheaper buying something that's either used versus a brand new build, depending on certain circumstances that the seller, they might need to get out of their home really quick. So they might be a little bit more motivated to move on the home. So it really depends on how patient you are and how much research you do in looking at some of these different resale homes. You might be able to get a little bit of a better deal, where with builders, a lot of our margins have already been set in place, so we kind of know how low we can go, and we're usually not going to be fluctuating too much from what our margins will dictate the home should sell for.
So obviously there's a lot of factors to consider when buying a used versus new, and a lot of the things that we've already talked about, such as location, community, even fees, right? So let's say you buy a house in a community, you still have to pay those fees. If you buy a condo, you still have to pay the condo fees, right? So there's a lot of things to consider when buying a used home that you would also consider when buying a new build as well.
Correct. Yeah. But as you're buying into these new communities, a lot of times there's some incentives, right? Because if you are in a community that has HOA fees, or if you are into a condo or a townhome that has condo fees, if you're getting in and you're pioneering a brand new site, a lot of the times there's not only price incentives on the purchase price of the home because you're in a construction site, but a lot of the times those condo fees or the HOA fees are minimized initially as it starts developing. So this bodes well for resale down the road, because as you're buying in at that initial price and the community starts getting built around you, those amenities become fully functional, the value of your home is going up too. So there's potential for a greater rate of return on buying a brand new home in a brand new community versus getting into a community that's already fully established. It might not necessarily have that same room of or percentage of growth.
Yeah. So Corey, do you have anything else to add in terms of differences when we're buying a new home versus a used home?
Yeah, again, it comes down to do your research. Have a look at resale and the new home builds and figure out which one would be best for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Corey. The question I have for you is, what are your thoughts on buying a used versus a new home? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.